Alright, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Alex here, and today we are gonna be talking about the vlog that was put out for the presentation blog for Madden 19, talking about the new halftime show, talking about the new pregame show. So let's get into that. So, from what I've seen today, it looks like the presentation is gonna be a bunch of like 3D models and stats around the league. So if you guys saw my video yesterday explaining why they can't do the highlights and render them into the console authentically, go watch the video that I made last night or the night before. I can't freaking remember for some reason. But anyways, yeah, go check that video out, and I thoroughly explained for like maybe 12 minutes or something like that of how that system works and why it would look corny as all hell, which really I should have titled that video why that type of halftime show wouldn't work right in today's modern age, because I think I titled it why it's important, but you know, I didn't really get into too detailed with that, so really I should almost go back and change the name of that video slightly, or tweak the title rather. But moving on now, let's talk about the blog. Let's talk about the brief little, I don't want to say gameplay because it's just the halftime show that they showed. So they didn't show the commentary, but they said in the blog that there's going to be a new, they didn't say new announcer, but they said the halftime announcer now has the new halftime presentation has new energetic music, and it's a better flow of commentary. And Brendan Godden and Charles Davis, I guess, for the pregame, they're supposed to get like really in depth about the atmosphere and the venues and stuff that are going on before, or, you know, all the festivity type stuff. They're going to talk about that. They're going to get a little bit deeper instead of just saying, oh, so-and-so ran out of the tunnel and it was like fireworks, there was pyrotechnics and blah, 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 and all that generic crap that's still last year. Now they're going to, I would hope that maybe they would tell you like what the temperature is, how cold it would be later in the game. Maybe they'll talk about the weather a little bit. I don't know exactly what they'll talk about, but hopefully it's a little bit more in depth, and they'll say, okay, well, here was Tom Brady. I don't know, maybe they'll have a little cutscene of Tom Brady warming up on the sidelines, and maybe show his passing percentage completion thing, and then like last year's stats or something. I don't know as far how deep it will be, but hopefully it's something a little decent. Now, as far as the halftime show goes, like I said, again, they're not going to show highlights from around the league. They will show stats. What they do is they're utilizing the Frostbite this year in a way that they can do more 3D effects. So what will happen is I think they'll show like states in like bluish, like the games that are going on, and then like states that are finished with their game will be like grayed out or something. I can't really remember exactly, but yeah, go watch some of the little snippet that they have online. If you go was it Hollywood Sports, that's who I went to, and I found the little 3D halftime show, so it's kind of interesting. But the thing is, they will show highlights, just highlights from your game. But what they'll do is, it'll be like kind of like the extra point show from like Madden 10 and Madden 11, where it'll be like a recap of the other games that were going on, but you don't actually get to see those games. So it's kind of similar to that, which isn't a bad thing. Me personally, I would rather have this than what they've been doing in the past, where they just show highlights from your game and they don't even talk about the other games. Like, the other games don't even exist. You don't even learn about the other games or the scores from the other games until the game ends and you go back to the main menu. I mean, sure, you got the little ticker on the bottom of the screen, but this will add another level of immersion. This will add another level of enjoyment to the presentation. My only concern is I hope that the commentary isn't super generic. And what I mean by that is I hope the commentator, when he's talking about the halftime stats, he doesn't just kind of like repeat the same things. Like, you know, kind of like a bunch of generic one-liners like, and let's take a look at his passing completion percentage. And then just show you the numbers, and he doesn't really say anything. He just says something generic like that. Or something along the lines of, okay, this was Frank Gore's rushing yards. Is Frank Gore even in the league, or did he freaking retire? I don't even fucking know, but okay, let's think of okay, Saquon Barkley. Let's use Saquon Barkley for an example. I hope it's not super generic and they're just like, Saquon Barkley has had a great game. Let's look at his rushing yards for right now. and then he just says like a generic one-liner, and then it just shows you the stats. Like, I want them to talk about the stats. Obviously, I can see that, yes, you can visualize the stats, but it will add another level of immersion if they go through the stats and they talk about the stats, and at least give you a rundown of, like, what happened. I don't think it'll be super detailed, like, they'll give you, like, okay, well, on 1st and 10, and then Tom Brady dropped back to pass, and he steps back 3 times, and then boom, he chucks it, like, 20 yards or something to Chris Hogan, and it was a touchdown. Like, I don't think it'll be that detailed just because they won't be able to show the highlights, but if they talk about the stats and talk about the scores, and they talk about injuries and stuff, get a little bit detailed, it'll be better than nothing. I know it's not going to be super, super detailed because it's awkward doing almost like a radio broadcast, because that's essentially what it would be. So, because they can't show the stats from around the league, and again, or not the stats, but the highlights. But if you guys want to see that video where I explained why that works and how it can't work properly, I think I probably overdid that video, but basically, long story short, I'll explain this one more time as clean as possible. The halftime highlights were video clips in ESPN NFL 2K5, and they basically just they would swap players and stuff because they could do that. So, like, even a completely different player could run that same video clip and run that same row, and that's what it was. It was just a video clip. So hopefully that kind of clears it up for you. And basically what would happen is after the game ran out of memory and it ran out of all the video clips that it knows of, it would just repeat the same ones over and over again. And that's the reason why EA doesn't want to do a halftime show like that until the technology gets better. Now, they did say something interesting, and I probably told you guys this yesterday or last night, is that the halftime show, if they could totally do it like that, but it's just where the technology is at right now, the only way they could do that is for an online franchise. But they said they're waiting until the technology gets good enough so that they could do that across the league offline as well, because they want everyone to have the best of both worlds. For like offline players and online players and yada yada yada, they can have the best of both worlds, and no one's like, hey, why do the online guys get all that crap? It's always about online franchise. What about us offline guys? So yeah, hopefully that kind of clears up why they can't do it that way. So unfortunately, I don't think we'll even see a fully realized halftime show even in Madden 20. Because I think it might, in order to do this properly, it might actually be in the next console generation, if that even. Hopefully by then they have enough technology by then to do that. Because see, in order to do this, they have to have the technology where it allows them to load stadiums in the background or do some background loading so it can simulate the games in the background. Technology, I guess, apparently from what I've heard, it hasn't reached that point where you could simulate 31 teams and 31 stadiums in the background. You could load them all in the background and have them playing their games until technology gets to that such point, which obviously is the PS5 and the Xbox 2 or the Xbox, whatever the new Xbox will be called, probably coming out sometime in the 2020 something, whatever the hell the case may be. It's obviously, now I think we know. I think that pretty much clears it up that a fully realized halftime show, unfortunately, won't happen until the next console generation. Let's just be honest with each other. Maybe the PS4 Pro will have a little bit higher fidelity, but honestly, I doubt it because I think it's just going to be the next console generation. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, Madden NFL 19 will be coming on August 10th. It's extremely early this year. So yeah, I'll be talking to you guys later, and peace.